Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the Cryptid Paranormal Podcast. We're pleased to have you with us. Tonight's guest is Debra Warren from Kentucky. She is a cryptid witness. She has had encounters with some kind of a winged creature. She is a sensitive. She's seen ghosts, spirits, shadow beings, UFOs, and she is joining us tonight to tell us all about it. So please give her a big welcome. Hi, Debra.
Hello.
Welcome. You are on
Yeah,
camera.
for, for some reason the volume is down a little bit lower on your end. I'm trying to hear you pretty as much as I can.
Okay, I will definitely. I'll try to speak up as much as I can. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about how you became involved in the paranormal?
Well, it kind of like when I was young, I'd say 3 and stuff, 2, whatever, however, I would see spirits then. Um, I thought it was normal. I thought everybody saw them, so I just got used to it. And then I got to the point where I would talk about it. I would tell my family. I lost even a couple family members over it because they thought it was evil seeing things like that. And I thought, well, and then there would be church people that was the same way. I was going to church when I was younger and stuff like that, and I figure out I can't say certain things to certain people. And then I saw my dad doing amazing things. He had, I guess we can only use certain much of our brain power. Well, he had opened up that extra part that we don't use, where he could levitate, move things with his mind, and he could start fires with his mind, which Firestarter is real. That show, that TV show, it can happen. I've seen it. Um, what else? I mean, he had the abilities that I've never seen with anybody in my life. He had the most amazing person with abilities that I've ever seen. So seeing it, I even thought that was normal. I found out he would tell me, he could read minds. He would read sit there and read my mind and tell me what I was thinking and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. So, and believe it or not, he could literally disappear. I know people probably will think I'm crazy, and I'm not. I promise you that. But he literally was sitting next to me one time. He said, "Debbie, I can even disappear." And he was gone. And I was like, I don't know. To this day, I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he went, but he was gone. So, growing up with that stuff, I just thought, well, I need to help people because I know I've seen things, I witnessed things, and I feel like I was here to like help people with paranormal activity or whatever like that, to make them feel like, hey, you're not crazy, you're not alone. I've even cleared homes of bad things or spirits. I've seen UFOs all my life. I've only seen one cryptid that I can remember. I don't know about sorry. I seen a 7-foot gray that I can remember that I had to take out of somebody that was actually, and a man knocked him out of a paranormal location I was at. He is with the My Lab. He's a My Lab abductee, and the My Lab is the military, sadly, and it's the gray and the military working together, and they use these people, certain people, for like reproduction. They can change them, and they can give them female hormones if they're male, give them breasts, do all kinds of experiments on them. So I've had to help this person out with it so they wouldn't like hurt themselves because they don't know what to do. They can't get it to stop, and I can't get it to stop. I can't. And I've even my own daughter, I had to take a device out of her neck. I didn't take it out. I had a doctor take it out. I got pictures of it. The thing's got veins in it, had veins in it, had fatty tissue around it, veins in it. So that's a living thing, whatever it is. And when I took it out, she was having all kinds of problems. I'm like, I gotta get this out because she was having problems with her neck. She was having nosebleeds, everything. And I was 6 years old when the three grays put that in her. That's when I had a black triangle at my house for hours. No lights, nothing. It was sat out there for hours. And when I was in this area at that time, I lived down over a hill, and back. This was back in when we didn't have the Wi-Fi and stuff that we do now. So I didn't even have cell phone service at that time to get any pictures of it. But it had no lights, completely dark, and it was gray. The grays, and they were messing with her and my other son. That they can even cloak as a cloud. They can hide in the clouds. They're always out here. I actually think they come from underground, and I think they're in our hills, our mountains, our caves. They're not extraterrestrial. They're not out in space anywhere. They're not coming from another planet. They're actually here.
So do you believe that they evolved on this planet, or do you think that they settled here from somewhere else?
I honestly, I have to put the phone to my ear, so if you see me moving, that's why, because you're really low on me. But I actually think we're here because of them. I think we are of them. I think we're hybrids from them. And I think certain people they use to keep some of the races are dying out. So what it is they take people's DNA and they take people's blood or whatever. They take people's male sperm and whatever. They take the female eggs to keep their races going. And they're doing that, and they're doing that. That's what these abductions are. They put chips in us. I got like one behind my leg, behind my knee, and I got one in my foot that you can actually feel if you touch it. You can feel them in there. When I had the one removed from my daughter's neck, they came and put it up in her nasal cavity. So now it's like right here, and you can see in the X-ray that we got. But you can't get up there. She would have to actually have somebody surgically go inside of her upper nose or in her head to get it out. And there ain't no point of even getting them out because they put them right back in. And I guess I'd say it's a tracking device. I don't know that. I don't know why they put those chips in us, but I think it could be their communication device, because when they do let you know that they're around or whatever, they tell you in your mind that, hey, I'm here, or hey, I'm coming, or be ready, or you start feeling, you know, like the equipment in your house starts going out, like your cameras, and they knock your cameras out, everything.
So, well, let's take a couple steps back. Now, you had
Okay.
said that you believe that they're altering human DNA. Do you think that's how your dad had his abilities?
Honestly, think they use people too. I think he has some kind of reptilian and gray messing with him. Um, I think what they do is they use us. They're. I think they even walk among us. They're in. They use people. They get in people, and the people call demon. They say, hey, these demons and stuff. But these demons, I'm thinking, are the aliens. There's good and bad. Um, like, they give you more power. The more you do for them, the more power you have, where you can do things with your mind. And they used my dad for that. And the reason I say this, and I'm going by my experience with this too. When my dad was on his deathbed, he was at the hospital, and he was doing things. If he would get mad at people, he could start fires with them at their home, which was bad. And I told him, you need to stop using it for bad, because this should be going for good, not bad. Anything bad, don't use it for bad, because in the end, you're not going to be, I don't know where, I don't, people say you go to hell, blah, 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 whatever. But when he was in the hospital, I said, I got to remove whatever's in him that's using him or whatever. So I got the chaplain. It was a Catholic hospital. So I got one of the preachers there, whatever, they came up with me. I said, can you help me with my dad before he passes? Let's do a Bible verse and all that. So when we did it, he started doing his, doing his Bible verse with him. All the equipment in the room just started going crazy, going blinking and lights blinking. The nurses, even at their desks, was ducking down in the floor. That is how wild it was getting in there. And even the Bible even flew off the thing into the floor while we were doing this. And I'm like, this needed to be done, or we got it. Whatever it was, it finally left, because and then he had a tear come down his eye, and I'm like, wow. So that's made me think this could be the demons and angels, because I had an angelic experience with my close up going over, tree level. It felt like angels. It was definitely, biblical or whatever was going on with that I had. And he had the bad part of it, that which gave him these extra powers that I've never seen before in my life. So when I went outside after all of it, I'm like, I'm going home. Even the preacher guy left. I mean, he did. I just said thank you, I appreciate you, and he just walked on. He just left. He was like, he was speechless. So I'm like, well, this is done. I walk outside, and the transformer in the parking lot completely to went, oh, I mean, like loud. It just, it scared me. I thought I was being shot. I thought it was a shotgun. And all the lights in the parking lot went out, every one of them. So I'm like, did I do that with my mind? Because the reason I thought that is because I do knock out street lights when I'm out in public, especially if I'm upset or if anything really major goes on with me. I've knocked out car starters, transmissions, everything. I can't get in any vehicle if I'm upset or overly excited or anything, because I affect electronics. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, like in paranormal, when you're at a haunted location, I don't mean to keep flipping weird things, but when you're at a haunted location, how much of it is our own brains and our own abilities affecting the environment that, causing poltergeist activity? You know what I'm trying to say? Just test the people that you're with first before you go to it being a ghost. you know, because I've seen things thrown across the room when I'm upset. My lights go out. I've been through so many light bulbs when I have to watch my energy when I'm in my home, in my car, or anything. Well, that's what happened there. The transformer blew, which I don't know if it was me or if it was just the event itself of getting rid of that whatever that was in my dad. It was so powerful, you know what I mean? And then when I finally got in the garage where my car was, the lights came back on. There was no storm, there was no bad weather, nothing that would have caused it. Can I explain it?
Interesting.
No. That's
So,
why it's
in your
unexplained.
opinion,
I don't think anybody should call themselves or like what do you call it? Get money off of it, or call themselves experts.
first,
You know what I'm saying? Why call yourself an expert when we're so totally clueless of what's even going on around us? We don't know. We can't prove anything. We just go by what we've seen or experienced, and that's it.
yeah, I agree. We're all researchers. We're all investigators. We're all trying
Right.
to
Just
learn.
investigate it.
Right. So, from your experience, is the supernatural? Do you think ghosts are real, or are they all connected to the UFOs? Is it all the same thing, or are they different entities?
I'm trying to think here how I think they're intertwined. I think there's different. I really think that I be honest. I think I'm trying to think here. Okay, if the people say that God is this guy in the sky, I think that there is a higher being. I do think it's alien. I think we're here because of the aliens. I think Jesus had those abilities. I believe in Jesus, and he was, alien himself. I think that no, he was misunderstood. Like I've been with the religious people. He was hung on. He was shunned. He was everything. And that's the thing. This is if the real truth comes out, I think it would totally demolish our religion. And I think that the government knows that. The government hides it. They don't want, they're in, they know, and I even think the aliens work with the government. They work closely with the government. We got our technology from these aliens, and I believe that they work together with the government to do their experiments to keep things alive, their race alive, so they can get this technology that we've gotten. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They're doing a switch off
So
thing
you
with
think it's
these
a barter
beings.
system? They're it's a barter system. They're bartering us essentially for
Right.
technological advantage.
So they give them permission to use us so they can get the technology that's needed for our military or whatever. But which is fine. I mean, they shouldn't be lying to us though, is my thing.
I
They
agree with
shouldn't
you
be
there.
we shouldn't have anything controlling us. And that's the
I
thing.
agree.
We're being controlled bad.
So now you mentioned when we talked earlier that your husband had an encounter with what you would describe as a men in black. Is that correct?
If you want to call them that, yeah. They were men. They didn't want to look at me. They didn't want to have anything to do with me at all. They wanted to get information from him, or they might have planted something in his head to tell him to block out anything that could be going on. I mean, they could be, because he don't get into the paranormal. He don't talk about it or nothing. He's not like me. But the thing is, when we were driving down the road one day, I was like, look up there. And I see him all the time. I said, you can't tell me that's not going on. I know you see it. It was two craft. They were going up and down, up and down, up and down like a yo-yo in front of us up in the sky. And I was like, you tell me that you're seeing that. Please tell me. And he looked at me. He was like, he just kept his head straight and kept driving because he was driving. So he did see it. And I said, now you know I'm not crazy. You know that I'm seeing this stuff. You just saw that. What object in our skies can do that? You know?
Well, you and hundreds of thousands of other people worldwide have seen some kind of
Right.
extraterrestrial or UAP, UFO phenomenon. So you're certainly not alone in that. I
Correct.
did want to circle back around because I was very fascinated earlier when you talked about the men that came to your house and spoke to your husband. Can you describe them and just kind of what kind of car were they driving? What you mentioned they weren't
They
interested
were
in
actually
you.
in like blue, like light colored suits. There was three men. They were driving two different cars, but the cars were um highly tinted, like you couldn't see inside their car. They had regular vehicles. I mean, that's why I kind of thought, since they didn't have black on and stuff like that, or the hats or whatever, I was like, they're not the men in black. You would think that they were just Jehovah Witness guys, coming up trying to get you to go to their church or whatever. So, but I got religion automatically in my head. Like, these guys are from a religious thing. They really weren't. I don't. My husband couldn't remember anything of he acted like nothing even happened. Like he wasn't gone for an hour. He lost time with them.
So is that the first time that someone's come to your house?
Yeah. Besides I had the military ones. I had them. Trying to think of anything else unusual, and then I had the people praying to the um, fire hydrants. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I can remember. I've
So let's back up real quick to the military. What was the military doing at your house?
Okay. I was talking to one that I was going to have a UFO conference here in Kentucky, and I invited some people. I had the Kentucky MUFON director at the time, and I was going to invite a guy named Kevin that's in the military that saw the Tic Tac. He was going to come on live with us. Maybe I made a big mistake talking to him because he was with the Air Force, whatever. I showed him a video that I caught north of me, that it was sitting there. There were lights just sitting there, and then they went sideways, and then they went up a little bit, and they went sideways, and they sit there, and then they disappeared. I showed him that video. He said, "Okay, I'll be part of your event." He didn't show up. He didn't call me. He didn't cancel. I was like, "Uh-oh. I guess I talked to the wrong person. I tried to get the wrong person involved." Right after that, I had the military at my house, right at my tree. Two guys hanging out of the. Even my neighbors saw them going circling around my house, and they mentioned it in Facebook. And I got like all screenshots of it, and I even got video of them right there at my tree, looking down at me. I actually thought they were going to land on my street, in front of my house, and like take me. But I guess
So
they were
when
just,
you say
hey, stop talking.
when you say
So
circle around, were they in a helicopter?
yeah, they were in a military helicopter, and they were hanging out on each side of it. They were just hovering it there, and they were going around my property. I maybe checking. I don't know if they were surveying, the area for radiation. I'm not sure what they were doing, because I know with my investigation, I had investigation at a farm there in Pendleton County, past in Kentucky, where people saw the Virgin Mary. I don't know if you heard of that, where people saw the Virgin Mary there in Kentucky years
I've
ago.
heard of the phenomenon. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did a investigation with with MUFON people. I took them there. I said, I know this guy. He's seeing things. Balloons from different states are in his trees, his property. He had in his ground where an object landed there, and the radiation was so high it was making his dog sick. And we were getting stop sign shaped orbs in our pictures. They were shaped like stop signs.
Okay. So did anyone ever come out and test for the radiation?
Yeah, yeah. The radiation. The MUFON director at the time, the two of them, or I had like five of them with me that day, and the radiation was high. The guy was getting sick. He had them on his ceiling. He even had neighbors shooting up at him, shooting guns at the objects that were out there, the UFOs.
Did the UFOs respond in any way to the gunshots?
No, they didn't respond at all. They just sat there. Hold on one second. I got one. My grandsons want me. Hold on.
Sure.
They were having a lot of activity there, so they made a report about it on my Facebook page, which I do investigations and stuff like that too, to help people with UFOs or spirits or anything like that they have in their home. So this was actually my first UFO investigation I did. And I thought I'll just get MUFON to go with me, so because they got the equipment that I didn't have. So yeah, we went out there, and they did get the radiation. The dog wound up getting sick, and it wound up passing away not long after we were out there. He would say that his neighbors were freaked out over the UFOs being out there, so they started shooting at them. It was crazy. I mean, what I think, there's certain areas that have more activity than other areas, but I think Lexington is an area where we have bases, alien bases there underground. Can't prove that, but I think that's That's what I'm thinking. And another thing is, there's a lot of military around that part of Kentucky, or that part of Kentucky. There's like, a lot of military in that area. I really think Lexington's got, and then it goes straight to Wright Patterson, and I think a lot of stuff goes on through there too. So it's like a direct shot from here to, and I'm right in the middle of all that. So could that be why I'm seeing a lot more? I'm not sure. And why
So
the
let me ask you
military,
this.
what
Yeah,
is that?
I'm curious. When your neighbors and stuff were seeing all these UFOs, did law enforcement get involved at all, or was it just kind of
Not at all. No, I haven't
brushed over
never
the
had
table?
law enforcement. I think law enforcement, on other cases they've been called. They probably see things. I think a lot of vehicles have been stopped. They shut your vehicles down if you see one. I think but I've never had the police. It's always been just the military or the weird men that showed up.
That's really interesting. And then you said there was another experience with a couple of folks that were a bit unusual. You said that they were, if I understood correctly, they were praying to a fire hydrant.
Yeah, they were standing on the road, on the main road, and they were in, like, there were different people. They weren't the guys that came to my house. They were other, like, just normal, like a teenage boy, a lady, and a man. And that this was right when these, I thought they were religious guys, came to my house. It was right during that time, and right when I had that go over me. They were praying to the fire hydrant. Why, I don't know. So that's, everything's been religious on my end. I've never had the negative that I had with my dad, the negative part that I had to remove from him. The gentleman that I talk to all the time that I help, he lives more like, down by Natural Bridge and all that area. So that them areas like Mammoth Cave, Natural Bridge, and stuff like that, I think things come out of them things too, and a lot of the cryptids come out of those areas.
Now, when we talked earlier, you had mentioned you saw some kind of a cryptid that was similar to Mothman. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you this other one. I just thought of it. I saw that it was a being. It had hair, dark hair all over its body. It had wings. It had a man's face with hair all over his face, and it talked robotic, but it talked mentally to me. It was, like broken up English, but it was robotic, like, talking sound. But then I was driving down the highway one day, and thank God I don't scare easily. I don't get scared of anything that could be out there. I'm so used to it. Just nothing surprises me anymore, honestly. So I'm driving down the highway. I look up, and I saw this object, real long object. It had the body of a plane, no wings, no tail, nothing. And it was just going across, above me. So I'm like, I'm driving and kind of watching. I thought, what is that? That's not no plane. And it just goes, and all of a sudden it disappears. And as soon as it disappeared, this big owl, like, bird, I don't know if it was a thunderbird or what you want to call it. I have no clue. It was huge. It came down at me at my car. I never in my life thought dream would ever happen, but it did. But it looked like a huge, gigantic owl, or what they say, the thunderbird. So is this ancient stuff that's coming through in the time slip, or I don't know. I have no clue.
So what did this owl-like creature, did it want something? Did it communicate at all? Was
Not
it
at all. It
acting
didn't say
aggressive?
anything. All it did was it just swooped down right at me and it was gone. I mean, it got so close to my vehicle. I thought, okay, what's going to happen? Am I going to disappear? Or what is it going to eat? Is my car? And it was gone. As soon as it got as close to my window as it could, it was like it swooped down, you know, like from that object way up there. I mean, it flew fast down at me. And I was thinking, thank God I don't scare easily. I would have wrecked. I would have been like my car would have flipped. I just kept going like nothing, like it was just like it was something normal.
Do you think it was trying to scare you? Do you-
I didn't feel fear from it. That's the thing. The weird thing with my weird stuff that I see, I don't get any fear whatsoever. And I'm thinking, why am I not scared of any of this stuff? You know, why is it seems normal to me. That's what I
so
don't understand. I'm thinking, why would I have not wrecked? You know, anybody in any no other person probably would have wrecked because that's how it was. Yeah,
yeah.
it was freaky because you didn't expect it. It was so unexpected that, oh wow. But then it happened so fast too that I don't even think I had enough time to even think to react to it. You know what I'm saying? It kind of like that kind of thing. Like if it would have happened emotion, I probably would have been even more scared about it. But
So what do you think it was that came out of the sky? What do you think it was that came out
my
of the sky?
first thought was a thunderbird. And that made me think of like a Native American. I got Cherokee in my family. I got on my grandma's side, like a lot of Cherokee. And I've noticed a lot of like I there's this paranormal place that I go to, and it's the most active location I've ever been to, besides a house I used to live in. And the house I used to live in, I'd see spirits, people going through, walking out of my son's bedroom all day long, like in a line. And I'm like, what are y'all? I mean, where's these people going? It was like a portal. Portals are everywhere. They just pop up and things come in and out of them. They're in their houses, they're in the sky, they're on the land. And that's how these things are coming in and out. That's why nobody's ever going to catch a Bigfoot because the Bigfoot is coming out and coming in, coming out, coming in, just like a spirit. I mean, every once in a while you might get lucky and catch a UFO, like I have, thank God. Or you might, but they let me know. But they're moving so fast, you know, that they're hard to catch. Sometimes they stay up there, and then they will affect your electronics to where you can't catch them. You know, you can't. Your phone won't work. Go same way. That depending on how much energy they have to form. Like I've seen so many full body apparitions. I've seen them like white, just white, filmy. I've seen them black filmy. Like they look like once I like my dad when he visited me after his passing. Hey, you look like like a TV screen. You know how the fizzies, it's all black, but you can see the fizz in the screen, TV screen when the
Sure.
show goes off. You know what I'm talking about? That yeah, you could
Yeah.
see that. That's how he was showing himself to me. Um,
So
but he told me that there was no time. He did tell me that there was no time where they go that in the afterlife. There's no time. Time is man made, and that he had to make some wrongs right in order to see his mom. So I do know that if anybody's doing anything bad in this world right now, you better make it right.
so now
He
you
did
said
confirm
that
that with me.
everything comes and goes from these portals. Are you saying that Bigfoot, Mothman, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts are all coming and going from the same uh, portals, I should say?
Yeah, and I actually think that we're interconnected. We're like they're I'm trying to think how to explain this too. Um, I think a lot of us can actually. Okay, We can leave our bodies. We can actually astrally travel. I do that a lot. I've actually had people tell me they felt me at their house when I was like, I do everything. I don't have to leave my home to go clear a house of paranormal activity. I don't charge nobody. I'm not in this for money. I'm in here to help people. And I feel that's my life mission. So I had a Facebook page that got completely wiped out of all my readings. Uh, readings for people to connect them with their loved ones or whatever, and I do house cleansings. Well, I tell them hell or heck, I can be there at your house and help you clean out. And I had to explain what I saw at their house or whatever to let them know I was there. And so you may feel my energy. They would feel me there and tell me they felt me there when I wasn't physically there, like my earthly body, but they could feel my spirit there. So that's how our spirit, or when we die, our energy, it's all energy, raw energy. We go to the other realm or whatever. And I actually believe too, because in my dreams, I am visiting another life. We have a couple different lives we're living right now. We're not just living here. We're living another life somewhere else. And we visited that when in our sleep. If that makes sense. If you remember, if you have a vivid dream, and you're in this whole house or something, and then you see people that you don't see here or something like that, and you're like, this place looks familiar, or you have deja vu or whatever, that's you visiting your other lives and you're not remembering it until you go to sleep. I visited my mom after she passed, and she looked younger than what she did when she was 80 when she passed. She looked like she was probably in her 40s or something in another home. And I got in there and I was sitting there waiting for her to come into the room. And when she looked at me, she said, Debbie, how'd you get here? And I looked at her, I was like, what are you doing here? That was our conversation. So I went and saw her in her new life. That could be a ghost. We could be leaving or doing our astral projections into this life right now, these spirits, or they could be stuck either way. They're doing their short visit into where they used to live. Do you know what I'm trying to get at? And we're seeing them as a ghost. Like my mom saw me, she's like, how'd you get here? I may have looked like a ghost to her.
Interesting. So you are. We're trying. I want to ask.
So I think our astral projections are ghosts.
So when we die, are you essentially saying that our life force, our soul, our energy goes to another plane of existence, another dimension, another frequency, something like that?
Yeah, we can go anywhere. We're not limited. We're not stuck in anything. But unless the ones that I feel that are earthbound, that are here, they passed tragically. They really didn't realize that they passed, and they need kind of help. Some of them don't see the light, there is a light. I do believe in the light, because I did have my heart stopped in 2010. So when it did, I got a pacemaker defib, and they told me I was gone. They said I was going to be a vegetable the rest of my life, that I was on life support. My body was in ice. They said I would never walk, talk, or anything again. They told my husband that. My husband said, give her 3 more days, please. He stayed up for 3 days for me. Said, please give her 3 days. That's it. The third day I woke up, it was the beings that brought me back. I do believe they can heal and they can bring people back. They brought me back. The doctors were already giving up on me.
So when you say the beings, are you talking about a ghost or something else?
No, the aliens.
The aliens? And that's so they are they?
Yeah, they came.
You had mentioned that there's implants in your body. Is that how they're watching you or tracking you?
Helped where my heart would function again. I was like, my heart completely stopped. And I do have frontal lobe damage because I had no oxygen to my brain for like over 13 minutes. And I don't remember none of it, thank God. I don't remember. This is what my family has told me. They were wanting to write a book about it because I shouldn't be here right now. But I thought, thank God I didn't lose my past memory, because I can remember everything from my past. I can't remember anything like current. So if I repeat myself, I apologize for that. And then if I go overboard with things, I apologize for that, because I don't realize I'm doing it. But yeah, I got frontal lobe damage. I have a pacemaker defib, and I use like 13% of it, I think, after my heart stopped. Every 10 to 13%. And they pretty much said I was gone. They were able to life support everything off me.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
to
So,
Preston Dennett, I think that's his name. If you talk to him, Preston Dennett, he believes in the healing of aliens, and he's got stories like mine. If anybody wants to hear about the healing of aliens, he's the one to go to. He's got really good cases of it that people talk about it.
that's really interesting. Now, when you were talking about the portals, I'm curious, because you've had a cryptid encounter, you've seen ghosts, you've had some unusual run-ins with the federal government. How do you think this is all tied together, other than the technology? Do you think that are we capable human beings, as we are now in our corporeal form, to travel through these portals?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they don't want us to know they don't want us to know because they're controlling us. They control everything we do. They don't want us knowing our abilities. I mean, we're so dumbed down. We only use a certain percentage of our brain power, which is crazy. And everybody's so focused on news and controlled by it, and controlled by our government. And we pay taxes. We shouldn't be paying taxes. We do all this stuff. Like we can travel being awake. We can travel being asleep, like astrally travel wherever we want to go. There's people that remote view areas that they've never been to before, and I've done that before. I've done remote viewing to find lost people. I found people that dead. I mean, deceased people that were missing before. I would see it in my mind, and I would describe. They found a shirt where I've led them, like a shirt of that person. They actually find the body, and this was a guy in Georgia, a black gentleman in Georgia.
So
I
let's back
helped
up
with
real
the
quick.
girl that was missing in Florida. She was being trafficked. She was 13.
So when you say you helped find this gentleman's body in Georgia, were you helping law enforcement, the family, both?
Yeah, it was actually it was a law enforcement person. Yeah, I get along with the law enforcement, the regular law people. I will only work with the detective. I will not work with like the family, because some things I see I don't want. But I do work with the family if they have detective or or police, or I mean, like, or FBI. I even work with the FBI if I can. And it was the FBI that I worked with the girl, and they actually did look for her, and they found her. They got her out of it.
So take me through remote
I
viewing.
can't
How
say
does
I
that
connect
work?
with everybody, because I don't. I'm saying I can't
Sure.
like 100% connect with like anything that people just ask me. It's just I have to have that connection, and then when I'm doing it, which is weird, like my Facebook glitches, their Facebook glitches, their phone glitch, my phone glitch. So that's the energy working through the readings of that I do. That it affects all kinds of things. I'm going to turn this light on here.
So that's
Oh,
really interesting. So when you remote view, Can you explain how you connect with someone or something to remote view? Is it a natural connection? You don't really think about it. It just happens. Do you focus on that person?
It's
And sometimes it
you get
works.
you yeah, you get messages and pictures in your mind. Like you'll hear words, you'll see you'll see visions. Like it's all in the mind. You can like close your eyes or you can like just sit there and start talking to the person. All of a sudden their name comes up or names connected comes up or you'll be like, did they have a or blue car? Yeah, they did. Did they know a guy named Carl? Yeah, they did. That stuff just automatically pops up.
Interesting.
And then when you get it, it's like, okay, where's this coming from? But it comes to our minds are computers and our minds are intelligent. And that's where I'm going to go with the God thing. God is here in our head, in our brain, in our heart. We don't need a building. We don't need this invisible man in the sky. It's right here and in our heart. That's God.
Okay. So, how often do you assist law enforcement using your remote viewing ability?
I did it for like 13 years until my Facebook got shut down. And my original Facebook got shut down, and they considered me a cybersecurity threat, and they dealt all my pictures, everything. So I've been going on for 8 months, if that. Because I can Facebook shut me down completely.
So, did they tell you why they thought you were a cybersecurity threat?
They didn't say why or nothing like that. No. Mm-mm. They just said I kept getting messages you know how they show you like why you're like they took out something and it tells you why or whatever because you did this or that. Kept saying cybersecurity, cybersecurity, cybersecurity. I'm thinking, what am I? Do we mean cybersecurity? And finally, I just said, "Hey, can I have my Facebook back?" And they said, "No, you're a cybersecurity threat," and never brought it back. I'm like, okay, there's more control here going on. So is Mark getting paid by our government to watch people like this? I don't know. All I was doing was helping people, and I'm like, what's wrong with helping people?
Well,
I
perhaps
wasn't
someone
getting
thought
money,
that.
fame, or anything from it. I don't ask a penny.
Well, if someone thought you were getting too close to the truth, perhaps that's why they
Right.
tried to sweep you under the
But
rug.
nobody has to listen to nobody has to believe me. Like I don't really have proof except, the people that I was helping. They could they knew what I was doing and stuff. And the weird thing is they felt comfortable with me. They didn't feel straight. They went along with me like they knew what to do. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like we all have it in us to know what to do. We all have this ability. We all have psychic abilities. We all have this ability to I'm not saying I'm better than anybody because I'm not. We all got it. It's just people have been so closed out and so mind controlled that they don't realize if they start seeing something. Oh God, this I can't. This scare me, and like poltergeist activity. 98% of poltergeist activity in somebody's home is because of the person living in the home. It's not a ghost. It's the person living in the home that's causing all the craziness going on in their home with the things flying off they're either going through puberty or they're going through they had like a bad past of like trauma. They had some people had rape or bad traumatic past that they didn't get to vent out, and it's still in their mind and it's still controlling them. So when they get upset or excited or whatever, it affects environment. And if you don't write any of that stuff out, I always tell them to write it out on paper burn the paper after they get it all wrote out, all the bad stuff from their past. Once they do that, all activity stops in their home. 2% of all my cases has been spirits. The rest has been the person in the home doing it.
So,
So that's how much energy we all have, and that's why they keep us dumb. They keep with their fluoride in our water and whatever in our foods and stuff like that. They're just completely destroying our power and our abilities. Is what they're doing.
So when you say with our abilities, is it how would someone who doesn't currently possess psychic ability go about opening that part of their mind up? Is that something we could learn?
Hold on, say it one more time. You're very hard to hear. Go ahead.
Is a psychic ability something that just a normal person can open up their mind? Is there a way for us to learn an exercise that we can do, a way for us to tap into it that you would recommend?
Well, I'm trying to think because it came so natural with me that I never had to really work on it. But I think they have to like not worry about what other people think. One, they have to get in a place where, like in their home, where it's just quiet. Close their mind off of the daily stuff around them, and just like take your mind elsewhere. Like take your mind out into your safe spot. Everybody has a safe spot that they mentally go to when they're stressed out. We have our safe place. We all like block out anything negative, completely block out the negativity. Sit there, prayers. I can tell you, prayer, everything. Prayers is the biggest thing. People do not know the power of prayer, but it's very powerful. Be able to speak to spirits or whatever, and there's a prayer for everything. There's a prayer for us to, let go of things. There's prayers to open our minds more. There's prayer. If you want to, you could probably find a prayer. I want to open my mind more. Prayer. I guarantee you'll find it. And if you set your mind to that, we set our attentions to certain things. We can do about anything.
No, I'm curious.
But we're being limited and stuff like that, and being controlled that people don't realize that.
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
it's amazing what we can do.
so. What do you think
And
about
that's no
tarot
lie.
and things like that?
Tarot, I think, I don't say this. It's not demonic like that. People use different things. Like if like with me with the brain, if I have to go through like the cards, we can put to just like dolls and stuff like that. People think in that doll, but the spirits are manipulating that doll to move. Like we're manipulating that card to tell us that certain message that we need to be told to telling that person, and it comes through that card. You pick the right card with your hands. That's why you got to touch these things. You got to use your mind to go into that card. It's not. I just think if as long as you're helping people and not doing like curses on people, you don't need to be doing that. You don't be doing black magic, stuff like that. Because we can do all that too. I know all that. We can hurt people with our minds, and that's bad. You don't want to hurt anybody.
So black magic, tarot, all of that is actually a mental, like a mental ability that we tune in, and we're using our minds. So it's not a supernatural, I guess, is what you're saying.
Right. It's like I'm trying to think what else. Like Ouija boards. A lot of it is our intentions. But like spirits. They can come through these boards and we can bring bad things through.
Have you had a lot of encounters on your investigations where someone's brought something through with a
Water
Ouija
calling.
board or something
I
like
might have to
that?
get to her soon, but yeah, I'll finish this at another time if I have to, because I got to pick up my other granddaughters and
Okay, so we are creeping up on an hour here, so I want to thank you for coming. And is there, if someone wants to get a hold of you, or is there an email that someone can reach you at if they have any questions, or would you
yeah,
prefer to
if
find you
they
on
want,
Facebook?
it's Deborah Mitchell Warren on Facebook, or and then once they add me, I got Kentucky Afterlife. I have that page that I help people on there. I help freely. I don't ask for any fame. I don't ask for any money, nothing like that. If anybody has issues with, they're not alone when it comes to UFOs. They're not alone when it comes to abductions. I'm here for whoever wants to talk about it. Don't be afraid to share it with me, because I'm helping people all over with it. Um, so I will be back with you too if you want me to talk. If you want to get people, if you get questions from people, whatever, and you want to get me back on and I can answer them, we could do that.
Yeah, definitely. We'd definitely love to have you
I'm not
back.
saying I know it all, because I don't. Because I'm totally clueless in all this too. I wish I knew the answers. But I'm just going by my own physical, personal experiences, what I think is going on. Can I prove that? No, but I've seen our abilities, and I know that we are amazing when it comes to abilities, and I really think we're being controlled not to tap into that, and that's sad.
That that is very true.
We don't need
Um,
equipment. We don't need all that equipment when it comes to communicating with UFOs, spirits, cryptids. You don't need to go out in the woods. You don't need to go to a graveyard. You don't need to go to a haunted house. You can. They're right here beside. I mean, they're intertwined with us. They're right here. I mean, they can come and go, just like we can come and go, just same way.
okay, excellent. Well, I will we'll wrap things up here as we are at the hour mark. So if you would just hang out backstage for a minute, and I'll join you back there momentarily.
Hmm.
And thank you so much for joining us.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Debra Mitchell Warren on Facebook. You can find her there. Debra Warren is a paranormal investigator who has experience with UFOs, cryptids, psychic phenomena, all sorts of information. If you have any questions and you can't reach her, by all means, reach out to us at cryptidparanormal.com, and we'll do everything we can to get you in contact with her. And thank you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it.